All right, welcome. I have Dr. Barbara Odom-Wesley with me. Dr. Odom-Wesley, thank you very much for joining us.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity, and thanks to you and YMA and all that you do for Arlington.
Well, it's our pleasure. Thank you much for joining. Are you ready for your first question?
Sure.
Excellent. Okay, please introduce yourself to the voters of Arlington. How long have you lived here? What is your occupation? And what notable experiences do you have serving our community? You'll have 3 minutes for this response.
Okay. As Chris introduced me, I'm Barbara Odom-Wesley, and I'm a candidate for the Arlington City Council, District 8, which is at large. I've been in Arlington since 1980, and if my name is familiar, it's because my dad served as the first African American on the Arlington City Council and then was elected as mayor in 1997 and served until 2003. So I was taught early on that service is the price you pay for the ground you walk on. So I bring to this job a heart of service. I have been involved in service in my professional association, which is Health Information Management. I was elected to positions at the local, state, and national levels in the American Health Information Management Association. Worked in hospitals, worked in healthcare facilities, and taught in the academic arena for 42 years. So a total of 50 years of experience in health information management. I retired in 2015, and the opportunity arose. There was a vacant council seat for District 1 that year. I ran for District 1 in 2018. Lost that race by only 350 votes, and then I was elected to the council in the at-large seat, which I hold now, District 8, in 2019. So I'm completing my first term on the city council. So my heart of service gives me the purpose, my purpose for wanting to be in public service, and I don't accept the title of politician. I'm absolutely a public servant, and I'm here to represent the people, to be their voice, especially for those whose voices have not been heard or they feel like they have not been heard. And I am prepared through my formal education and as well as through my leadership experience. I'm a life member of the NAACP, a life member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. I'm a charter member of the Martin Luther King Celebration Committee in Arlington. Been here, like I said, 40 years. Volunteered with United Way and a number of nonprofit organizations. And I have enjoyed serving the citizens on the council in this first term. I hope we'll get a chance to talk about priorities and issues, but I think the important thing is to increase citizen engagement, which is what I've worked on here in my first term. Make sure that we hear from all the voices, bring everybody to the table, and then make the best decisions that we can for Arlington as a whole. I appreciate this opportunity and look forward to the rest of the questions and hope I can earn your endorsement.
Thank you. Okay, your next question. Why are you running for office? And this is a 2-minute response.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I'm running for office to complete and continue the work that I've already started on the council. I think one of my priorities is COVID recovery. I know we've all been impacted by that, and so we need to support our small businesses as well as the arts and as well as our citizens and neighborhoods. I mean, this has taken a toll in many different ways, the pandemic. And I want to be a part of the recovery effort. I believe that Arlington certainly can recover. We enjoy that can-do spirit and that sense of community, and so working together, we can come out of that. I mentioned citizen engagement. I have worked to expand membership and make it more diverse on all of our committees, boards, and commissions. And just recently, we received recommendations from the Unity Council. And we also have a disparity study that we now have in hand. And so we're looking at increasing diversity, equity, and inclusiveness in Arlington. And so I'm looking forward to that work and implementing the city's racial equity plan and make sure that all the citizens of Arlington would call it their dream city.
Thank you. Okay, next question. What are your top 3 priorities for stimulating small business activity and entrepreneurship in Arlington? This will be 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. I mentioned small businesses under the COVID recovery comment, and you asked what would I do to do that. One thing that I think we need to do that I would like to implement is establish a task force, a COVID recovery task force that would have citizens on it, as well as have them listen to experts and look at what other cities have been successful doing, and support our small businesses with more grant opportunities. I know we have some small business grants available now, but I think they're going to need some additional help because, as you are aware, restaurants have been closed, retail has hurt, even your local dry cleaners. And then we also see that the arts are going to need some assistance. Theater Arlington is struggling to survive. And we don't want to lose these portions of our community. So I would certainly support our city coming to their aid as much as we can. As long as we have citizen involvement, engagement in making those decisions, and as long as those resources are equitably distributed. I think those are the important things to keep in mind. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Okay, next question. Do you feel that the current development impact fee schedule, certificate of occupancy procedures, or permitting processes should be modified? And if so, in what ways? This will be 2 minutes.
Okay, impact fees. Yeah, the recovery is a huge, I guess, umbrella over everything that we'll be doing probably over the next several years. So I don't think this is a time to raise fees or to increase red tape and additional permitting requirements and those kinds of things. I think this is a time for us to remove the barriers, to reduce the obstacles, and help all of our businesses, our developers recover. And in the process, then we are also helping the economic development in Arlington. Real happy that the provision passed back in November, establishing our Economic Development Corporation. And I think that's going to give us a new tool to improve economic development here in Arlington. We don't want to forget our small businesses. We want incentives in place for our large corporations, but also our small businesses. And in the meantime, through all of this, then maintain livability of our neighborhoods. You know, I hear from citizens that the one thing they really love about Arlington is that it has a small town feel. And even with that, you know, we've grown to 400,000 people. We're still the 99 square miles, but we're starting to experience some urban issues. And I would like to see us be more proactive in mitigating those and making sure that we protect our neighborhoods and maintain that sense of community that we all enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next question. What should the city do differently, if anything, to address problems with neglected multifamily housing structures? This will be 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. And I have been a strong proponent to increase the multifamily developments in Arlington that are affordable, because I found that we were short in affordable housing, and we have worked to do that since I've been on the council. But one thing that we really have to focus on is making sure that these developments are still quality developments 10, 20 years from now. So that starts with the construction. And we have some very prescriptive requirements in our Uniform Development Code. So we want to make sure that those are enforced. And then to maintain some structure in place for each one of these multifamily developments that's going to make sure they don't deteriorate and dilapidate. I know we had experiences in the freeze couple of weeks ago where we had multifamily developments where pipes were burst, and we had a difficult time trying to locate the owners or even the property managers to come in and help those residents whose apartments had been virtually destroyed. So I don't know what requirements we can put in place, but there needs to be somebody available in an emergency situation. If it's not an on-site manager, they should at least be nearby so that they can handle emergency situations. And then to maintain the quality, we start with, for example, landscaping requirements. Well, we need to maintain the landscapes, the shrubbery and all of that so that it continues to look nice and is high quality. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next question. What sort of policies might you pursue, if any, to promote social justice, equity, and inclusion in our community? And this will be a 2-minute response.
Thank you for that question. I mentioned the Unity Council report, which we just got, and there are about 60 recommendations in that report. And really, I think that we can implement the vast majority of those. It's a well thought out report with the academic rigor that we need to give us the data to support the recommendations. I think Dr. Jason Shelton did an outstanding job, and I was really happy to lead the effort to establish a Unity Council and appoint Dr. Shelton as the chair. We had 28 community members there. And again, I think that's important in anything that we do, is that we have citizen engagement and opportunity for people to be heard. So in order to implement it, one of the big things that I heard was to establish a Department of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and that reports directly to the city manager. And I think we can absolutely do that. They recommended some policing reforms, well, not necessarily reforms, but increased opportunity for community interaction with the police. And I think that's a good idea, because when we get to know each other, then we like each other a little bit better. And the more we know each other, I think you find that we're much more similar than we are different. There were recommendations in 5 areas from the Unity Council: in housing, and we've talked a little bit about that already, multifamily and the quality there; health and wellness. Again, the COVID highlighted that need. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next question. This will also be a 2-minute response. What initiatives will you pursue, if any, to address homelessness and poverty in Arlington?
Okay, thank you. I was just recently appointed by Mayor Jeff Williams to the Tarrant Coalition for Housing, for Homelessness. Now I'm forgetting the acronym. To the Tarrant County Coalition for Homelessness. And I'm really happy to see that we have a coordinated effort in Tarrant County so that all the agencies that serve the homeless come together, share resources. And we saw that just recently during the freeze, finding shelter for all of the homeless population, as well as providing fresh water for all the homeless population. So things like that, and supporting our shelters. We have the Arlington Life Shelter, and then we have the Shelter for Domestic Abuse, working with Tarrant County, making sure that we have the resources necessary. And I would really like to focus more on prevention, to study and understand what causes a family or a person to become homeless, and see what we can do in our community to prevent it, and not just provide emergency shelter, which I think we do a good job with that. But we want to look at prevention. And I have a particular concern about veterans. How is it that a veteran who has served our country would end up homeless and on the street, and food insecure, as well as homeless insecure, which impacts their health? And then that may also have us look at mental health, mental illness, how we treat it, how we can help people who are experiencing stress and how they respond to stress or how they handle their anger, and then try to prevent those things that cause homelessness. I'm looking forward to that work.
Thank you. Okay, next question. What specifically will you do to build better working partnerships with the University of Texas at Arlington, Tarrant County College, or the Arlington Independent School District? This will be 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay. I think we do have a good working relationship with our educational institutions, AISD, TCC, as well as UTA. And I would like to see us look at our community, because everyone doesn't go to college. And I know we have the Dan Diper Career Technical Center, which meets a big need. And I think we need to expand on that. Some workforce development, because I think that's part of the problem with homelessness. And that's part of the problem with poverty. How can we start to break that cycle of poverty? And I think it's education. So if we can bring our institutions together, and I know we have plenty of initiatives in place, like UTA accepts the top 10% of any graduate of any high school in AISD, and I think they're expanding it to MISD as well. TCC and all of their programs, I think that's a good place for us to look at opportunities for our citizens to develop a skill set so they can qualify for some of the higher paying jobs. They may not get a 4-year degree, but a certification like the Dan Diper might begin, certification, a skill set where they can get a higher paying job and break that cycle of poverty, which in some families has gone on for generations. And then assisting AISD as well. As I said, it's a continuum from childcare to elementary to the AISD system to TCC to UTA, that we have that. And that's a big advantage, I think, for Arlington, is that we have a strong educational system that takes you from, well, I almost said infancy, but from first grade, well, kindergarten, from kindergarten all the way to a doctoral degree. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next question. Do you think that the City Council should take additional steps to mitigate the negative effects of a tourism? Sorry, I'm going to start this one over. Do you think that the City Council should take additional steps to mitigate the negative effects of tourism-based economic activity on established neighborhoods and long-term residents? This will be 2 minutes as well.
Tourism-based negative effects on neighborhoods.
Yeah, mitigate the negative effects of tourism-based economic activity on established neighborhoods and long-term residents.
Okay. Yes, one of the things that I think we have worked on and we need to continue to work on is to maintain the livability of our neighborhoods. As I mentioned earlier, that small town feel is one of the things that people really like in Arlington. And I don't know if you're specifically targeting short-term rentals with this question, but that's the first thing that I thought about. And we do have some guidelines in place now that would restrict where short-term rentals can be built. We had a lot of complaints from neighbors about short-term rentals that came in and were, for lack of a better word, party houses celebrating. They went to the big game in the entertainment district, and then they went to their STRs and continued the party, and which is fine, but not in the neighborhoods. You know, that was disruptive. And I think we also need to look at fostering that sense of community, things that would help. We have some neighborhood services grants that I think we can use to mitigate some of those, I guess, deterioration, long-term deterioration of neighborhoods, sidewalks and street improvements, because nowadays people want to live, work, and play within a walking distance, 15 to 20-minute walk. And the work from home situation, the trend is, I think, is going to stay with us. And so, you know, that impacts a lot of different things, including transportation. But livable neighborhoods, I think, is high priority for City Council.
Thank you. Okay, ready for your final question?
Oh, okay.
All right, this is going to be a 3-minute response.
All righty.
What will make you a better candidate for city council than your competitors?
Well, I have one opponent, but I'm not running against a person. I am running for the seat. And even though I am an incumbent, I think I have to requalify for that seat every time I run. So what I would have my the voters know is that I am purposed for this work. I have a heart of service. I have an attitude of inclusiveness. I believe in bringing everybody to the table, listening to those voices, and being influenced by what I hear. I also know that I have a responsibility to do my homework, do the research, and read the experts, interview the experts if that's appropriate, gather information and inform my vote, inform my opinion, and make the best decision for all of Arlington, all 400,000. I think I am prepared for this work through my formal education, but more importantly, through my informal education. In all of the leadership positions that I've held, I've learned to work with a diverse population of people. I can work with different socioeconomic levels, as well as racial groups, as well as um, uh, different communities and different populations. I mentored hundreds of students as a university professor for 42 years. And I feel like that really contributed to my education and my ability to empathize with others and their positions and to work alongside them to get things done. I am solutions oriented, I'm outcomes focused, and I think we want to take action and not just talk about it for multiple years. And that's one of the things about the Unity Council and the disparity reports. We don't want to talk about it for another 2 to 3 years. I think it's time to move from conversation to action. And I'm willing to do that. And again, I think it's important to listen. Listen to all citizens, bring everybody to the table, look at all sides, and then work alongside my colleagues as well as the experts in the city staff to come up with the best solutions for our city. I'm also positioned for this work. I am retired. I've been retired for 5 years now, and I'm willing to devote the time and the effort that it takes, and it is a full-time responsibility to serve on city council. And I think I've already proven that I'm able to do that. And I look forward to continuing the work that we have already begun. I appreciate this opportunity to visit with you. Thank you to the young men of Arlington. And thank you, Chris.
All right, thank you, Dr. Odom-Wesley, for joining us. We really appreciate your time and best of luck to your campaign.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.